have in the studio someone whose name is synonymous with music in the Federation, Miss Pamella Wall. Miss Wall started teaching music with her first student in 1959 after returning from university. She has been the director for many choirs, including the 500-voice children choir for our very first independent service, and for many celebrations, including the visits from the Royals. Miss Wall has also been instrumental in the annual Christmas program that would normally be held at the St. George's Anglican Church. Sadly, this has not been able to occur in our current climate. While many of you would have been familiar with Miss Wall's musical history, how many of you knew that Miss Wall was among the contestants of the JC's Miss St. Kitts back in 1959?
Did not know that.
And yes, I already did the math. That's 62 years ago. I'm not even going to try this in Spanish. 62 years ago. So I am very honored to have you, my former choir director as well, in the studio with us this morning. Welcome, Miss Wall.
I'm very, very happy to be here and with my friends.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. She also taught me in high school.
Right?
Yes.
And both of you have sung at my Christmas concerts.
Yes.
Yes,
Right?
we did. You remember so well.
And it's been missed very much.
Yes,
I
yes,
go now,
yes.
everybody saying, when is the concert?
Yes,
And
I mean, this question is not even on it, but any hopes of having it maybe 2022?
hopefully, yes. I thought we would have it this year too. We tried to do it virtually last year, but it didn't work out. So maybe next year.
Maybe.
And-
It's a Christmas essential.
I promise to be on it.
Oh, well, committed now, yes. As long as I'm in the Federation, yes.
yes.
Absolutely.
So, Ms. Wall, I have trouble remembering last week. So, I mean, let's put your memory to the test. Can you remember how it was to enter in 1959?
Well, I had just come back from England, and I was told that, this contest was coming up, and my brother-in-law, Charles Brisbane, got hold of me, and he said, I would like you to go in,
Your
I said,
brother.
"Going what?" He said, in those days, it wasn't Miss St. Kitts anymore. It was then Carnival Queen. And he said, I will sponsor you. O.D. Brisbane. I said, wow, okay. I hadn't even seen these because I was in England all the time. So he got Mrs. June Mestier to be my chaperone. And she, being a Trinidadian, was very creative. She right away created my costume and my evening dress. The costume was called Sea Fantasy, and it was a blue torso, and I wore a cape with a big collar. And she did all the embroidery you see.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you have a picture of it, but all the sequins, all the fish on the net was all hand done by her.
Wow.
And on my head was what looked like coral. A lot of people thought it was a piece of coral. But she had got twigs made soap powder and dipped it in that and then put little beads on it. And it really looked like a piece of coral on my head. It was kind of heavy too. And then she designed my evening dress, which she called Southern Belle. And I think they have a picture of it. And it was Eau de Nil, a very pale, brocaded green dress. 23 yards of material.
23?
23
Wow.
yards of material. And she laced dark velvet green, and then ended in a big bow at the back. So I was ready and good to go.
Right. So how was the experience for you?
Well, I think in those days it was in the park. And the JCs built up a platform there. And we really only had the two presentations, evening dress and
Costume?
We did
So no speech, no interview?
It was done backstage apparently.
Oh, okay.
So somebody reminded me. Yes.
Okay.
The memory is not good these days.
No, your memory of the dress seems very
it's
spot
quite
on,
on
very
point. It's quite on
detailed,
point.
yes.
And yes, so we only had those two presentations. We didn't have to wear bathing suit
right.
or anything else. But we were spared that interview on the stage. Which nobody looks forward to.
No, nobody does. Nobody does. Nobody does.
You remember that, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do remember. I remember my heart going. Da, 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 da. So as a runner-up, were there any responsibilities that you had to do in the community?
Not really, only in case the queen, went away and we'd have to step in her shoes. But in those days, there was not any big. We didn't have to go through the ordeal. I shouldn't call it an ordeal. I think it's an experience that the girls do. Because they start from months now.
Yes.
And they get trained in etiquette and table manners and, all sorts of things, as you know.
Yes.
They have a good time, though.
Good time, I don't know if it was a good time. You said, maybe you may have said the right word first, the ordeal of having to prepare months in advance.
And they make friends, very good friends.
True.
So, Ms. Wall, music has evolved in time, and that's how many people know you for this, music. So how are some of the ways that the contest has evolved with a positive light from now till then? Music in general.
Music in general?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had many students who have done very, very well. Some have gone away, won scholarships. Pamella Wall won a scholarship to England. She met her African husband, who went and lived in Africa and taught music
Maybe
there.
you need to teach me music so I could now meet my African husband.
She
That would be
taught
great.
music there. Hazel Books won a scholarship to Canada, and she spent 7 years doing music over there. And I've had many others. One of my best students was Mark Owen. And a group got together and decided that they wanted to send him away because his family couldn't afford it. So they told me, encourage him to go and so forth. So when he came and I put the question to him, he said, no, I'm going to be a priest, a Roman Catholic priest.
Wow.
And they kept saying, you have to encourage him to do his music. I said, no. He's going to do his music as a priest.
Oh, wow.
So from the time he left and went to Ohio and started studying, he would send and tell me all the things he's doing, and he heard this person playing the organ, and he went upstairs and he offered to play for her, and so he's kept up his music.
Wow.
He even sent me a video showing me he's now in Baltimore with his choir, and he was playing and
they're singing,
directing them and so forth. So I'm happy that at least it's rubbed off on some.
Yes, your legacy lives on.
Some come and go because the parents send them.
Well, that's true.
Everybody has their talent, and you have to develop.
Yes, no, sure, right. I was just telling Miss Wall that, she has such a long resume. So let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about you being the Business and Professional Women's Club president in 1975. Yeah. Do you remember that? Can you tell us something about that?
Yes, that was through the instrumentality of another brother-in-law, Freddie Lamb. He started the Rotary Club here, and he met somebody who was belonging to the international. It's an international federation, Business and Professional Women's Club. And so he invited this lady from Trinidad. She was in charge of the regional committee, trying to get the membership going. So she came and she met with me, and she told me what it was all about, and I thought it was a wonderful association to start. So I got a few women together and, explained what it was all about. And I had Mrs. Limor, who was the only lady lawyer at that time. I think we have more lady lawyers than men right now.
Maybe we do.
And to try and agree to be president, and at the meeting she declined. So it just fell in my lap, and I thought, wow, I've never been president of any association before. So right away I took a Dale Carnegie course. And I would like to encourage young women to take a Dale Carnegie course. It helps you, it trains you to public speaking, and, once upon a time you'd never find me here. I used to be very shy.
Really?
And that helped me a lot. And as a result of that, the first thing I did was to go to Mexico City. It was the year of the decade, the UN declared a decade for women, from 75 to 85. So the first big conference, was in Mexico City. So 3 of us took off right away and went to Mexico City, rubbed shoulders with women from all over the world, all walks of life, and that was an eye-opener. And so we came back and our batteries were charged, ready to go. And this is why I think BPW really
is
took
existing,
off
and it's
very
existing
well.
today, yes.
The first thing we did, one of the first things we did was to have a career showcase for women, to try and introduce them into non-stereotype careers.
Right.
So, and that really encouraged women to go and step into other careers. We now have women doing engineering, architecture, agriculture, you name it.
Right.
They're there. And I think that because we had these career showcases every year, and we got professionals to come in and talk with them, that it made a difference. And I have to tell you that Mrs. Didier, Joan Malalou's mother, we brought her here to do floral decorations and arrangements. And through those, a lot of women now make their money from arrangement, floral arrangement, as a result of her. And you know, I always remember her saying to me, Pam, never be afraid to start something. Be brave, always start something. You never know whether it will succeed or not, but always start something. And those words
Stick with you.
remain there.
Wow, wow.